The Emirates Stadium is now an established landmark in Highbury and Islington. Arsenal's new home was part of an ambitious £400 million project, which included not just the stadium, but the regeneration of the surrounding area, including much needed affordable housing, leisure facilities and improved transport. But 2 years on, Arsenal's neighbours say the club has failed to deliver on its promises and they're getting angry. Geraint Hughes has the story.
The Emirates Stadium, home to Arsenal, one of the richest clubs in the world. Designed by award-winning architects HOK Sport, with the capacity to seat 60,000 supporters, it's the most technologically advanced stadium in Europe. 10 years in the making, there's no doubt it's impressive. The old Highbury, much loved but outdated, just doesn't compare. This area, dubbed the Borough of Arsenal, has been home to the Gunners for nearly a century now. It moved here to North London from Woolwich in 1913, just before the First World War, and has been part of the fabric of the community ever since. Reverend Stephen Coles has been a minister at St Thomas's Church in the heart of Arsenal for 19 years now. He's seen a huge change in the attitude of the club towards his parish in recent years.
In 1989, Arsenal was by far and away the largest thing in the parish when I arrived. And the relationship with the community seemed to be perfectly amicable.
How has that relationship between the football club and the community now changed?
What we're dealing with is a big international corporation, a big business. And it's business that happens to be a sporting business that drives the people who now run Arsenal. I think the feeling towards the Arsenal is that they don't really listen to people locally, that they're not really interested in the effect they have on the local community.
As plans for a new stadium began to grow, relations between the club and its neighbours began to break down. Before Arsenal moved to their new stadium, they produced this glossy brochure outlining all the benefits to the community. And here it is in black and white: a new sports centre, major new transport improvements, a catalyst for regeneration. But 6 years on, the picture's a bit different. Saying farewell to Highbury was a sad day for avid Arsenal fan Janet and her boys, especially as it meant demolition of the JVC Sports Centre, where they used to play football in the south stand of the old stadium.
Well, I have 4 boys and they've all done soccer schools at JVC. They loved it.
It was really fun because when we were playing, they had AstroTurf and proper goals with nets.
There were great tears and trauma when the soccer schools finally finished. They really missed it.
Sometimes they'd have professional players coming in to the schools, and they would give you autographs and stuff. That was really
And they
good.
teach you the odd trick as well, yeah? But you don't get that anymore?
No, don't get that anymore.
Ben was there one day and Thierry Henry dropped in. A few weeks later, Patrick Vieira dropped in. It was fantastic. They were so inspired.
In its place, Arsenal promised a bigger and better community sports centre in the heart of the new development. But it wasn't to be.
What is the greater need, a sports centre or housing? And we were told it was housing, so that's what we did.
It was terribly disappointing when we found out that there was not going to be any room, as they said, for a new soccer school, because it's one of the tangible benefits that was given to the community previously.
I thought they were going to keep the soccer school, but then they turned it into flats. And then I thought in the Emirates they were going to make another soccer school, but they didn't.
Instead, Arsenal says it's investing £1.8 million in local leisure facilities and soccer coaching in the community.
But it's not the same as being able to go to where your heroes play and to be part of that community. I accept that Arsenal has to make as much money as it can to pay off the new stadium, and it is a fantastic stadium. But there is a general feeling in the community that Arsenal has just ridden roughshod over the local community.
Head teacher Sue Seaford wants Arsenal to know exactly how disappointed the community feels. She set up a petition and there's no shortage of support.
I actually can't express how angry I feel, because I think it shows total lack of respect for the community and there are millions of pounds up there in that building. I mean, they've just let a whole generation of kids down.
OK, let's take a look at the regeneration that's been going on. There's no doubt there's plenty of it. And to give Arsenal their fair dues, they've exceeded the quota of 2,500 homes, 35% of which were affordable housing. Absolutely great. Or is it? The grounds of the old stadium may look like a building site, but eventually it'll be a gated community of luxury flats. At starting prices of close to £500,000 for a one-bedroom flat. For your money, you get a private gym with swimming pool, underground parking, and the prestige of living in the old Highbury Stadium. But just half a mile down the road, the location is not quite so desirable. It's here that Arsenal has located the majority of its social and largely affordable homes.
This is a waste transfer station over there, and see the lorries going in and out. Here is the housing that's been built mainly for people on controlled rent, that is housing association properties, some of them part rent, part purchase, some of them key worker housing. And so what's happened is the planning authority council allowed the development to take place, which sort of ghettoises this area.
Well, I don't agree with Jeremy. I know Jeremy very well. I wouldn't agree it's a ghetto. We've tried to ensure that it's been done in a very professional and attractive way, and if you look at all the properties that are up and running now, people in them, they're super properties. So no, it's not all about money. Yes, we need money, but who doesn't? Because we've got more than a £300 million debt to service.
MP Jeremy Corbyn disagrees. He feels Arsenal has failed people on low income in favour of making a profit.
Imagine a child growing up. This is their ideal of a childhood. Railway line, refuse transfer station, road. Can they play out here? No. Is it safe? No. It's not right. We should not be developing places like this now.
Match day, with 60,000 fans descending on the area, transport is stretched to its limits. To ease the pressure, Arsenal promised major new transport improvements. Let's take a closer look. A capacity upgrade for Holloway Road, installing stairs and reopening an abandoned shaft together with an extra lift. The upgrade of Drayton Park Station with extra services on match days. Neither of these have happened.
I'm very angry about the broken promise, because this is seriously inconvenient for the local community, because in effect all of the tube stations are taken out.
The promises that were made to Holloway Road, can you tell us what has happened there?
Well, that question really ought to be addressed to TfL, because we can't control what they do. There was a sum of money, about £7.5 million, that was committed for the upgrade of Holloway Road, but when TfL started to do their feasibility studies, it was proved that it would be £70 million.
TfL says the money pledged by Arsenal was never going to be enough.
The responsibility for securing sufficient funds to deliver transport improvements ahead of the opening of Emirates Stadium lay with Arsenal Football Club and the London Borough of Islington. Only around £8 million was secured for transport improvements, with £5 million earmarked for Holloway Road tube station.
The council allowed Arsenal to get away with a PR exercise. At the moment, this and Drayton Park are both closed, and the queues at the other tube stations are massive. So there's been a total failure to deliver any of the benefits that were promised about public transport.
So how has the club got away with these broken promises?
Arsenal very, very cleverly, without really meaning it, threatened to move away if they didn't get what they wanted. And that put the council into an absolute panic. I don't think there was any ever real prospect of them moving away, but I think they were pushing their luck. I think there is a sense of arrogance around that. In fact, in the end, Arsenal will get its own way.
We're in the business when we have to live with criticism. It's what we do. Some weeks there's 60,000 complaints. We've been here longer than the people that live here. We've been here since 1913. So we want to be good neighbours.
I remember going down to the old stadium and Dad taking us there and me on his shoulders, you know, and this was wonderful. We all love the Arsenal, but does the Arsenal love us?